The distress beacon had been transmitting for 11 days. 11 long days without any reply from the Galactic Repair Consortium. 11 days filled only with automated responses politely explaining that the Valari research vessel, Soren's Cradle, was located far beyond the mapped service routes. For 11 days the crew slowly began to understand the truth. They were drifting helplessly through space, waiting for their oxygen recyclers to finally fail. Elder Navigator Thessan stood beside the observation window and studied the stars. They did not flicker. They did not shift. The ship itself was just as motionless, which was exactly the problem. Their secondary drive had exploded during an ion storm, tearing apart half of the coupling array. 3 plasma conduits had fused together into a molten knot of metal that no Valari engineer dared approach safely, let alone repair. The Soren's Cradle carried 47 lives, mostly scientists, a cultural delegation, and 2 small children belonging to senior researcher Orith. She spent nearly every moment trying to comfort them, promising help would come. But Thessan knew the truth. Help was not coming. He had submitted repair requests through every available communication channel. The consortium held a 300-year service contract with the Valari Directorate, yet out here in the Kesher Drift such agreements meant little. The closest certified repair station was 9 light weeks away. The automated system estimated a response time of 60 to 90 days. They only had 22 days of oxygen left. Behind him, Communications Officer Devak approached quietly. Her expression carried the calm mask of someone who had already calculated their chances and did not wish to say the numbers aloud. "We received another reply," she said softly. Thessan turned slowly. "From the consortium?" Devak hesitated. "No," she replied. "From a human relay." Thessan turned fully toward her. In 3 decades traveling deep space he had encountered humans only a handful of times. They were a relatively young civilization, energetic, outspoken, and often enthusiastic in situations where other species preferred careful caution. The Valari Directorate maintained polite relations with the Terran Commonwealth, mostly because human territory occupied an inconvenient stretch of the Orion Spur. "What does the message say?" Thessan asked. Devak glanced at her tablet and read carefully. "I am translating loosely," she said. "The transmission states, picked up your distress beacon on our long-range array. We're about 4 days away. What's broken?" Thessan blinked. "That is the entire message?" "Yes," Devak answered. "There are no credentials, no consortium codes, and no liability forms attached." She paused awkwardly. "They also asked if we had coffee." Thessan looked back toward the silent stars. His people had an ancient saying dating back to their first orbital stations. "Do not allow pride to arrange your funeral." 47 souls were aboard this vessel, and their air supply was shrinking. "Reply," he said finally. Devak straightened. "Tell them everything that is damaged, every system failure. Be precise." "And the coffee?" she asked. "Inform them we have Valari spiced tea," Thessan said quietly. "And we will gladly share all of it." Devak almost smiled before returning to her console. Thessan rested his palm against the cold observation glass and thought about one particular phrase in the human message. Not "we will evaluate the situation." Not "assistance pending approval." Simply, "We're about 4 days out." Present tense. Already moving. He did not know whether a human engineer could repair a Valari plasma coupling array. But they were flying toward the stranded ship instead of away from it. And at that moment, that alone made them remarkable. For days later a ship finally emerged from transit and matched the drifting path of Soren's Cradle. It was not the vessel Thessan had imagined. He had expected something military or imposing, since humans were known for building machines that looked aggressive even when they were not meant to be. Instead, the arriving craft was a medium-sized repair tender, square, practical, and covered with external tool racks and magnetic docking clamps. Its hull was painted a faded orange that had weathered into a rust-like shade. Along its side, large white letters displayed its name. Kali May. It was not elegant. But it looked exactly like the kind of ship that fixed problems. The docking collar connected with a heavy mechanical clunk. Thessan and Devak waited in the airlock corridor as pressure equalized. After a brief hiss and a green indicator light, the hatch slid open. 3 humans stepped inside. The first was a tall, broad-shouldered woman wearing a worn engineering jacket over well-used coveralls. Her dark hair was tied back simply. She carried a tablet in one hand and a heavy tool bag in the other, already examining the walls, conduits, and ceiling panels with quick professional focus. Behind her came a younger man with short red hair and grease on his forearm, staring around the corridor with obvious curiosity. The third was an older woman with silver streaks in her hair, already pulling a scanner from her pocket. The tall woman spoke first. "I'm Lena Carr, chief engineer," she said. "This is Danny and Priya." She looked directly at Thessan. "We read your damage report on the way here. The fused coupling array will be the difficult part." Then she asked a simple question. "Where's your engineering bay?"